everyone, it's Debbie with Nana's Cooking, feeding the heart, spirit, and tummy. You'll see why we named our little cooking channel that, because we love to not only provide recipes for our children and family and friends, but also provide, some positive self-affirmations every once in a while, some scriptures to uplift your heart and your spirit. Well, we all need that these days, especially going into a new year. So I'm going to share with you, kind of like everybody else, I kind of look at recipes on Facebook. I look up recipes, on YouTube. So I get some ideas and then I make it my own sometimes. Like this recipe is, I think they call it cowboy soup. So I took that soup and mixing it with my mom's cabbage beef soup together, and they're going to have a baby. It's going to boom, So we're just kind of mixing both soups that look really good to meet your family. I think it's going to be fun. I hope my kids love this. And like I said, these recipes are for them, and hopefully I'm keeping these recipes simple enough that they can make them when I'm not around. So with that said, let's get started. So first, I had a small cabbage head. You can get as large as you want. I halved it, so we're going to start with a half right now. And I'm just kind of slicing it. It's never a bad thing to start a new year with cabbage. The old saying, you eat cabbage to do what, honey? Prosper and money, yes. Health. So all these things we're wishing upon our family and praying for our friends and family.
And it tastes good too.
And it tastes good too. It is not a bad deal, people. Not a bad deal. So, okay. And if you feel like that's not enough, then, always add the other half. And, all right, so make sure they're little bite sizes because it is going to be soup. But these all will cook down, definitely cook down. Hopefully, right?
It should.
And we're doing this in my crock pot, which it's my favorite thing to do is my crock pot. So to use my crock pot. So I'm going to dump this in my liners. Of course, I always use the liner because it helps Jimmy when he cleans up the kitchen.
Clean it up. But,
right.
Yeah, it's surprising. We were at a grocery store and one of the ladies that was working with us, she asked us, do these things melt?
Do they melt?
And
we're like,
said, no, they're wonderful.
They're wonderful. They make them for the crock pot. They will not melt. Just like your oven bags, they will not burn or melt. And it does, like you said, it helps us with cleanup as well. Okay, so that's first. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Yes, I know. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world is my new things. Salt and pepper shakers that we ordered from Christmas. So I would definitely use a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper or more, because the cabbage needs to be seasoned. We don't want no blah blah cabbage, right, honey?
That's right.
So to get my kids to eat cabbage, it needs to be flavored. So, all right, then I'm going to add, it calls for, depends on what recipe you look at, but a small onion, or I did half of a large onion, just to give it some onion flavor. I've already pre-chopped it. Like I said, a lot of this is just preparing. This is great for any wintry day, Saturday, watching football, feed a family, feed friends, can't complain. All right, and you can add more onion if you like more onion. So, all right, now I am going to step over here for a minute and we'll get my hamburger. I have already okay, ready? I've already kind of pre-fried this a little bit with a little help of Mr. Reeves.
Very little.
So I'm going to drain it, right? Yeah, so I'm chopping, he's doing that. So let's drain it out, get some of that grease out. And also, I've been known in some of my recipes to just put the raw hamburger in and it cooks all day, especially if it's frozen, and it just kind of breaks it off, shimmer it off a little bit every hour or so. And it just breaks down really nicely. So we put this back real fast. All right, whoops, okay. So we're draining the grease from this. Try to be a little bit healthy for the new year, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, so I'm gonna dump that on top of the cabbage. Yum. All right. Now it does call for a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of chili powder. I happen not to have cumin, so I'm just gonna put a tablespoon of chili powder. And that's what I'm telling people, just don't be afraid, try things, substitute things if you don't have it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just gonna cover the hamburger with this. All right. Get those good flavors in there. And I kind of pre-seasoned the hamburger already as it was frying up a little bit there with some salt and pepper as well. Like you said, you don't want blah blah cabbage soup. So we want seasoning. All right, so it calls for a can of black beans, which we're gonna drain them. This is my little garbage bag, as y'all know. So I'm gonna drain the black beans. Keep it a little bit more healthier as well. All right, so let's dump those. This is so easy, people, just dump. So easy. All right, now I am adding red kidney beans. Now these are dark red, but you can use the rock light, whichever you prefer. Oh, I got one of each, so we're good. We covered both areas. Well, doesn't want to come out the bottom. Oh, well, folks, we'll get it later. No biggie. Let's get the other can. This is the light beans. Okay. Put this in my trash. I'm gonna get a bigger trash bag for this one.
I believe you are.
Yeah, all these cans. All right, so let's dump those in. Very colorful, huh? We're not done. All right, so 1 can of golden corn. Now you can use fresh corn, frozen corn in the freezer, whichever you prefer. I've seen recipes, like I said, when I was strolling through recipes, I've seen people just use frozen mixed vegetables and use that. So whatever fits your family and your time. And this is so good too, you can put it on in the mornings before you leave work and you come home and you have a wonderful soup ready for you and your husband and your family. My problem is I can't cook for 2. I'm always cooking for 5 to 6 or more. And so I have to learn to cook for 2 sometimes, don't I, honey?
Oh yeah.
Now I'm using, it calls for a can of crushed tomatoes and a can of green chilies. Now I opted out on the green chilies because certain people. So I'm just using 1 large can of crushed tomatoes. And you want the juices on this, obviously, to make your broth a little bit better. Oh yeah, baby. Like I said, a little bit of my mom, a little bit of cowboy soup recipe. And then I think, yeah, I'm gonna just put a little pepper on that. Trying to cut the acid a little bit. Okay. A bit of salt. I think I just want to use these. I'm making excuses. Yeah, it needs this, honey, really. Okay, so we've already done that. And then I'm going to add a carton of beef broth with it. And that gives you your good flavors as well. How can you not like this stuff?
Oh, yes.
Seriously. La 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 la. I guess I need some music. You don't want me singing, you guys will turn it off really fast, let me tell you. All right, there you go. I'm gonna grab me a spoon and be right back. Right back, if I can find a good spoon. Let's just kind of mix this up a little bit. But I think I do want my cabbage to kind of stay on the bottom so it cooks really well and gets nice and soft. So I'm not going to disturb the cabbage that much. I want those good flavors to marinate together. We're going to cook this on for like 4 hours on high. You can cook it on 8 hours all day. Depends on what time you want to serve it. And you can add, if you need a little bit more, I'm thinking we may need a little bit more liquid. So they also say you can add some water. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of water in my crushed tomatoes can. Stir it around a little bit. There you go. It gives you a little bit more broth. And you can always add another can of broth or a box of broth or tomato juice, whatever you want. But it's good and thick. Whoops, some of my cabbage snaking up there. But that's okay, it'll cook in. It'll all cook together. And I'm excited to try this with my family later. And we'll be ready for football and just to curl up on the couch and have a bowl of soup. So this is a recipe, like I said, cowboy soup meets my mom's cabbage beef soup. I don't know what to name it, but we'll come up with something. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sure it's going to be good at the end of the day. I probably will make some cornbread.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll probably make some cornbread to crumble up in it or scoop it up in it. That'd be awesome. So you can also put sour cream, green onions on top. You can fix it up the way you want to. So I think this is it for this recipe. We're going to cook it about 4 hours, probably 4 to 5 hours, I think. People are coming over, so it should be ready for football time. So you guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. Like I said, this is a recipe videos for my family, my kids to have. It's simple stuff. Keep it simple, right? And you know, I always tell my clients that if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So always have a plan and you know what to expect. So this is a plan that I'm pre-doing for this evening. So, or when you, like I said, you leave for work, you have it. So you guys, thank you so much. And I pray you have a blessed day. And we appreciate your time in watching these videos. So of course, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you. This is part 2 of the Cowboy Cabbage soup that I made earlier. And I had mentioned in that video that I was going to make some cornbread to crumble up in the soup. So I thought I'd go ahead and make a really quick video at the end of that video to add on for everybody about some of the cornbread that I've made my whole life since I was a teenager with my mom. So I've already started a little bit. I've already added 2 cups of self-rising cornmeal, about 2 tablespoons of flour, and I did not add baking powder because it's self-rising, but you still can if you'd like to add some of that. I add 1/3 cup of sugar, and you can make it a little bit sweeter if you like. And now I'm getting ready. That's the dry ingredients. And I also put a teaspoon of salt. So this is all my dry ingredients. I've already mixed it. So I'm making a little, like a little hole here, a well, if you will, to put the liquids in. So I'm gonna add 1 large egg. And you can do 1/3 cup of butter or oil, whatever you prefer. I just happen to have some extra butter. It was already melted. And I'm gonna add I'm gonna mix this up real fast, the egg as well, just kind of mix it. There we go, stir it good. So I'm gonna start out with like a cup of milk. Yeah, I'm gonna add it slowly because you wanna make sure your consistency is not too thick, not too liquidy. So let's just kind of begin, you kind of eyeball it a little bit. And if you don't like sugar, let me tell you, it's definitely okay. And like I said, my mom back in the day, when she got older, she used a box of Jiffy in her homemade cornbread, which everybody loved because it had a little bit of sweetness to it. So you see how I'm just adding milk as I go. I'm checking the consistency. Don't want it too dry. Make sure you get the bottom. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I even kept my milk out because I just didn't know. I've been doing this probably, gosh, since I was 13, 14. I'd come home from school and make up cornbread for everybody. Iron skillet. But today I'm just going to do the muffins because I'm making that soup for everybody. And they each can have their own individual bowl of soup and their own individual cornbread muffin. They can eat it as whole or they can crumble it up in their soup. All right, so this looks like a pretty good consistency. Probably wouldn't hurt, just dump it all in there. I can always add more cornmeal, right? Now, that's looking good. See how good that looks right there? That's what we want. So it was about 1.5 cups almost of milk to 2 cups. Depends on how much you're making. So, all right. So I'm going to put in my little muffin pans here. About halfway up. because they will rise. And I've already pre-oiled my muffin pans with oil, and I took a paper towel and wrapped around all the sides with it to make sure it had enough oil in it because you don't want it sticking. I'll just do the first set here for everybody, and then we will come back again here in a little bit once everything is done, the soup's done, the cornbread's done, and show you the total end results of everything. So once again, this is some homemade cornbread muffins I'm making right now, and to go with our cowboy cabbage beef soup for the kids here in a little bit. All right, so we'll see you in a little bit once everything gets done. All right, I'm back to show you the end result of the cabbage soup, cowboy cabbage soup, and the homemade cornbread we made for everybody tonight. So the cornbread, as you can see, turned out very pretty and golden brown, perfectly golden. And then we're going to show you the soup here, which is still kind of boiling, so it's still very hot, very steamy. I think it would probably work better with this right here.
Could be
there
right.
You go. Yeah, so this is cabbage soup, cowboy cabbage soup mixed together. So I hope everybody enjoys on a cold wintry night, and we're enjoying the ball game right now, football game. So I hope everybody enjoys this. Thanks.